Live. There you go.
Okay.
Let me share my screen too. Sorry.
Okay.
Just a second. Oh, there we go. Awesome.
All right. Number one, I put a consumer holds money to meet spending needs. This will be an example of I chose the third option, transactions demand for money.
Yep, that's what I had.
All right. Number two, let's see, where is it? A decrease in the interest rate will cause I chose the last one. I chose increase in the amount of money held as an asset.
So I chose the third one, and my logic on that one is if interest rate goes down, if you have money you're just holding, it's gonna having money as an asset, it's not gonna gain as much interest.
Mm-hmm. Well, the reason why I chose this one was, well, I was just going off of the graphs. You know how it had the first 3 or 4 graphs in the first like page. It showed you about like the interest, and yeah, the interest.
Yeah.
I went off of that where I decreased the interest, and I don't know, but
yeah. Let me look at the book. Actually, I'm kind of second guessing myself now. So, a decrease in interest rates will cause I'm seeing asset demand, it's a negative sloping curve, so it's decrease is a decrease.
which ones?
The second, it's showing the second graph, right?
It was a third graph, or it was like the first page, I think, that where it has like the first 2 graphs and you add them together makes the third graph.
Yeah.
Where it has the amount of assets and so forth. Oh wait, yeah, you're right. You're right about that. For some reason I thought increase was decrease for some weird reason. I don't know. You're right about that though. Yeah, that makes sense. So it would be decrease in amount held as an asset because it's decreasing even though it's going further out.
The money demanded as an asset varies inversely with the rate of interest. Interest rate rises, public reduces money.
Yeah, so it would be decreasing the amount of money, I think. Because as you decrease the rate of interest,
it's the last one. It's an inverse relationship.
It would be the increase in the amount of money held as an asset.
As your interest rate goes down on like bonds and stuff, people are more likely to have money, is what it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the last one.
All right. Next one. Third one, there's an asset demand for money primarily because of which function of money? I chose store of value.
Yep, that's what I had.
All right. Number 4, an increase in nominal GDP will increase the transactions demand and the total demand for money, which is the first option. What I chose.
That's what I had. That one was hard for me because I was looking at the graph trying to figure it out, and I just couldn't until the end of the chapter.
Yeah, actually, like I thought, like as I read it, that I would go along with the quiz, but it wasn't that way this time. It was like mixed up, so I was like, "What the heck are they asking?"
Yep.
All right, number 5 was pretty easy. I chose line 1 as the demand for money curve.
Yep, that's what I had. So I'll do 6 now. When the interest rate falls, I put the asset demand for money in or decreases, but that's wrong. We now found.
I chose the second one. Transaction demand for money increases, but it might not be that actually. It might be total amount of money demand increases.
Yeah, I don't see anything about interest rate though in that one.
I'm not either. Let's see, amount of money demand. I would think it'd be the last one.
I think it's the third one. That goes along with the second one we just did. So the interest
Mm-hmm.
rate falls, money as an asset increases. Interest
Yeah.
rate falls, the total's got to increase.
I think yeah, it's gonna.
So I think it's the third one.
Unless you're gonna shift the graph when the interest falls. I think you're right. I think it's the third option because I'm looking at the graph right now, and it's, as you see the difference, I see rate of interest decreasing. You're seeing an increase in the amount of money demand, and I think it's the third option as well. It's
Right.
it's increasing.
Now, seven's one I kind of had trouble with. I did it by process of elimination. It says in the cause-effect chain linking changes in the bank's excess reserves, resulting changes in output and employment in the economy, an increase in money supply will decrease the rate of interest.
Okay, I chose that same one as well.
Yep, that makes sense to me. So, number 8 says the purpose of expansionary monetary policy is to increase, and I put real GDP.
Yeah, this one took me a while, but I got it. I chose real GDP as well.
Okay, because you have the expansionary when there's a GDP gap. So that means that your actual is below the potential, so you would need to increase it. 9 says, what is one of the advantages of monetary policy over fiscal policy? And I put the quickness with which it can be used.
Yeah, same here. What was number 8 again that you said?
8 is real GDP.
Yeah, okay, yeah. I had that as well.
And
All right.
10 says, a newspaper headline reads, Fed cuts federal funds rate for 5th time this year. This heading indicates that the Federal Reserve is most likely to ease monetary policy.
All right. I felt it was that as well. I'm just not sure, but I felt it was monetary policy. So
That's what I had put because they're cutting the federal funds rate, so they're making it kind of more economical.
yeah,
So yeah.
it's all right. I got number 11 then.
Okay.
So when the Fed wants to lower the federal funds rate, I chose buys bonds from banks and the public.
Yep, that's what I had.
Number 12, if the federal funds rate I put increases, the prime rate will also increase.
Yep.
Because it goes along with it. They never like converge or anything.
Yep.
Then number 13, I chose 4 and 6.
Yep.
Which I felt like that was pretty obvious.
Yeah, it was really easy.
Yeah, and then number 14, the main tools that the Fed can use to alter the reserves of commercial banks are the required reserve ratio and the following, except I chose exchange rate because that's pretty easy as well to figure out.
Yeah, that wasn't even in there.
And the lending ability of commercial bank increases when I chose when the Fed buys securities in the open market.
Yep, that's what I had. That took me a while, so I think it's pretty right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got the last 5, 16. Or sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, 16. Go ahead.
The fundamental objective of monetary policy is to assist the economy in achieving full employment, non-inflationary level of total output.
Yep, I got that.
17, the Federal Reserve alters the amount of the nation's money supply by manipulating the size of excess reserves held by commercial banks.
Yep, I got that as well.
18, if the Fed sells government securities to the general public in the open market, and I chose the first one.
The first one? Okay, I chose the second one, but I just couldn't really. I knew it was one of the first two. I just didn't know which one it would be exactly.
Actually, the Fed gives the securities to the public, and the public pays for them. Now, when the checks clear, they would actually decrease the bank reserves.
That's what I was thinking because.
Yeah. Nice catch there, Rick. Right. 19, The Fed can induce banks to increase their reserve holdings by increasing interest on reserves.
Yep.
And 20, when the Fed lowered short-term interest rates to near zero, but the policy didn't seem to stimulate the economy enough, the Fed in 2009 also began conducting the policy of expansion buying of bonds, known as QE, quantitative easing.
All right, that one I'm just gonna base it with you because I couldn't figure this one out. I mean, I
That
can.
one was in the reading. Let's see if we can find it real quick.
CQE, Federal Response to Zero. No, it's QE because it says here that the Fed's response to the zero lower bound problem was quantitative easing, and the first round of quantitative easing began in March 2009 and involved in the Fed purchasing 1.75 trillion worth of bonds. So I think it's going to be QE.
Yep.
All right.
All right. Well, I think that's it. So.